Oh wait, I shouldn't be talking during this part. Hello and welcome everyone. I am Rene Seichi, and this is just a test to make sure this thing worked on the PS4, and also a test of the Roxio Gamecap HD video editing software. It's actually a bit easier to use than Camtasia, I found. But for this little test, we're going to be showing off good old Garuda here. And then afterwards, we'll have a little bonus and show off, what's his face? Titan. I wish this preview window was a lot bigger. Wonder if I could maybe... No? There's no way I can make it bigger? Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Maybe if I scroll? No? Okay. Well, I am Natsuki Ryune of the Fairy server in the North American database, which is, I think, Primal, but I am not sure. The main tank just pulled Garuda, so we can rush in and do our usual heavy thrust, then the stabby one in the back, and then disembowel, and then chaotic thrust combo, and then I like to use the dots right afterwards. So we're gonna do this until Garuda is taken down about 5 or 10%. Then when she disappears the first time, you want to hide behind that rock. Otherwise, you'll get blasted with this aerial thing and it hurts. Not as much as it does in extreme mode, and we will be getting to the extreme primal someday. In an interesting little series I thought of for you guys with my FC, our FC being, of course, Fate Sealed. But I'll talk about them, and we'll have a fun little introduction, or at least I plan to with our later TikTok. But we are recruiting, especially some magical DPS actually for some raiding. So if anyone was interested, just send me or take a message if you play on the Fairy server. Yeah, so anyway, after you dodge that attack, you can just rush in once again and attack Garuda. Just, you know, lay on the DPS if you're a DPS, or make sure the tanks are healed, or tank her, if you're the main tank, tank her against that rock in the back, because that's kind of important. She does have a point-blank AoE known as Wicked Wheel, and that hurts, so it doesn't hurt that bad unless, you know, extreme mode, and also double Wicked Wheels, but we'll talk about that later, actually. That's still a possibility. That second dodge, that second blast she does when she disappears, you want to... You want to hide behind that rock so that you're facing away from the center. Thank you, AVG, for making a fun little appearance. Now, in this phase, you want to destroy those razor plumes as fast as possible, because they'll take out the rocks. If those rocks to go down, you won't be able to survive her, what do they call it? Primal Aether attack thing? It's their ultimate attack, and I like to call it their limit break, because we have limit breaks. I like to think bosses have limit breaks too. I don't know. She'll disappear again. There's no actual real need to dodge behind this rock, because she's not actually going to do any kind of a blast. Oh, this is her ultimate attack, actually. That was the Ethereal Blast, or something like that. That'll take out all the rocks, and thus move into phase 2 of the fight, which is usually around 40-ish% in Garuda hard mode. This was a trial roulette, by the way. Keep that in mind. This was trial roulette number 2. Anyway, so in this phase, she'll spawn a bunch of twisters, she'll do Wicked Wheels. It's really not that different from the rest of the fight, it's just now we don't have rocks to hide behind and stuff. Take her down to about, it looks to me like 30 or 25%. Then she'll disappear again and appear right back in the middle. This time she'll spawn 2 sisters, known as Tirada and Suparna. Now, interesting thing about Garuda hard mode is that they have a red and a green line on one of them, but it's actually random between them. Either way, you want to take out the one with the green first. It's pretty easy for our party because we're super overpowered thanks to trial roulette. And then you want to attack the other one, which in our case is, I can't read that because it's way too small. Man, this preview window is quite a thing because it is way too small. But once you kill them both, Garuda loses her determination buff because she gets a defense up and attack up, I think. I know she gets the defense up, but I'm not sure about the attack up buff when those two are on the field, so you want to kill them quickly. The red one, I think, is the one that gives her the attack up or something. I'm not entirely sure how that works. All I know is you're supposed to kill the green one first, and that's what we always do. At least for our FC. Now, in this part, he took her right into a twister there, and that was pretty hard to dodge. Should have used elusive jump, but I'm not very good at using that. Anyway, there's going to be a satin plume that spawns. All the other plumes can be ignored, but the satin plume needs to be killed because it will sleep everybody. And if everybody is asleep and there are twisters and razor plumes all over the place, you'll probably wipe. But that's really it. I can do a blade dance here if she stands still for 3 seconds, which is kind of what I'm trying to do. I was waiting for her to activate this final phase of the fight, which usually she has more health. So I think that was because we have so much DPS in this group. And one blade dance, and she goes down. So pretty easy, even for a melee. I can't say the same about Extreme. In fact, I will never melee Extreme, maybe. I don't know, we'll see. Because I do need that slaying earring, but if my FC does it, I can just bard it, which is, interestingly, my first class. Also, we got a, I think that was the Scholar Book, which is why I greeted on it. Or maybe it was Garuda's Beak. I'm not entirely sure. Depends if I win it or not. Turning up my volume here for a second. I think it was the Scholar Book, because I think the other guy wins it. Yeah. Okay. So you saw there he won it. So that's pretty much it. That was Garuda Hard Mode and the test of my PS4. Now for a little bonus video, if you guys want to stick around, this is Titan Hard Mode. This was the first thing I got when I tried Trial Roulette for this recording. Now, keep in mind this white mage. I think his name starts with an N, but I cannot read it now. So Titan, both hard and extreme, is all about knowing how to dodge his attacks, which usually isn't that hard except for extreme mode, because if you don't know what's happening, you'll never beat Titan hard extreme mode the first time, no matter how many times you watch that video. It's just not possible. And in fact, it took me about 2 or 3 weeks, and then I finally got together with my FC to clear him, and we kicked his ass, and it was awesome. So anyway, Titan Hard Mode. He is known as Baby Titan. He doesn't have any tank swap mechanics, so he's pretty simple for off tanks. Actually, the main tank just literally needs to sit there and watch out for mountain busters and pop appropriate cooldowns when necessary. That is one of his primary attacks, Landslide, and this is another one known as Tumult. After Tumults, he will always, or Stomps, as we like to call them. Oh no, that's right. Weights don't appear until the second phase, so that's pretty much all he does for the first phase, is Landslides and Tumults. It's really easy to dodge. Yeah. And then you get him about 10% down, yeah. So once he's at 90%, he'll jump up and use a move called Geocrush, which destroys some of the platform. In extreme mode, it destroys a lot more of the platform, but that's enough about extreme mode. We'll talk about him when we get there. These are Wit of the Land. They will be a point-blank AoE on a bunch of random players, and if the players are too weirdly stacked or some such, they'll pretty much run into each other's weights and not be able to dodge them. And I think the white mage actually got hit on that first one, which is never a good sign when your healers get hit by the very first weights. Now, melees actually have it kind of easy in this fight, because we just stand off to the side, or if you're a monk, you'll dance around him, and, you know, he actually won't target you with that many weights. It's very interesting how that works. Now, in this third phase, Titan has like 6 phases, so, or at least Titan Hard Mode does. He'll start with his Landslide, and then he'll do weights. And that's Mountain Buster. It's an attack that usually only tanks need to worry about. Or, no, that was him calling out his bomb boulders. This is the clock pattern. You just stand in the middle, watch for the explosion, and run towards the one that exploded. Watch out for the landslide right afterwards. Not too hard. No weights on me there, so didn't have to worry about that. Always keep up heavy thrust as a Dragoon. That's #1 priority, as I learned in a Twintania run. That was fun. Now, this is a granite jail. He will target someone randomly with it if they are not... Well, actually nothing happens if they're not broken out in time. They'll just not be able to do anything from inside. Which is pretty annoying for anyone trapped inside of it. But, yeah. Well, no. I'm gonna stop talking about extreme mode now. Alright, so this is the heart phase. Phase 4. You know it because the music goes dun, 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 dun. Also, I love Titan's music. I love Garuda's music more, though. Garuda's music is awesome. Fallen Angel. I also like Ultima, interestingly enough. I don't really know Ifrit's music that well. Now, the first granite jail you want to break. And also, we're targeting a new enemy called Titan's Heart. If this is not broken by the end of this phase, because he has a certain set of attacks, if it's not broken in time, everybody dies to Earth and Fury. The second jail you do not want to break until after the heart is dead, which is pretty easy with our group's DPS, thankfully. Unfortunately, the DPS doesn't really help if you have no healers. Interestingly enough, if the second jail is not broken in time for Earth and Fury, the person inside automatically dies. So make sure they're broken out before the attack goes off. Now the final phase with Under the Weight. One of my favorite tracks, I will admit, because it's really hard rock. Leviathan's music is great too, but unfortunately it didn't come on the soundtrack. Now, that white mage died. No, actually the bard died, interestingly enough, first. These landslides, by the way, if you get hit by them, or if you just run too far to the edge of the arena, you can fall off, so be careful of that. The landslide has a huge knockback effect, and I think our tank just died for some reason, because he just turned around and then murdered a whole bunch of people. And this is pretty much where the fight fell apart. Once 3 people died, the white mage just left, leaving me without a third limit break bar. I do activate an interesting little glitch here, though, where, well, I mean, I went for the blade dance right about, it's after the off-tank dies. It's right about here, I think. And then I go for the blade dance after the avoiding the weights because I knew they were coming. And once I went for them, he kills me with his punch. And so I stand there as if I'm doing the limit break, but I'm effectively dead at this point because my HP is 0. And then we're all talking about how that white mage just kind of ditched us, and that's pretty much it. So thanks for joining me, everybody, on this fun little adventure into Eorzea. Look out for a couple of series I've got planned, including one story mode LP, and a series called Sealing Fate, which will be my runs with either my Dragoon or my Bard with my free company, Fate Sealed. So, until then, later guys. Also, I complained to my FC members about that horrible run, because, man, I've had some pretty bad Titan hard mode runs, but not like that. So, until then, later guys. Whoa, what? No, I don't want to,